The blizzard had come without warning, as they always did on Kepler 442b. Marcus Chen stumbled through the howling white chaos, his thermal suit's heating elements working overtime against the -70-degree winds. He'd been sent to repair the communication array on Ridge 7, a routine maintenance job that had turned deadly when the storm rolled in from the methane seas. That's when he saw her. She was huddled against an outcropping of obsidian-like rock, her crystalline skin reflecting the pale blue light of the distant sun. Her species, the Velshara, were known throughout the galaxy as masters of energy manipulation, beings of pure elegance and power. But this one looked anything but powerful. She was curled into herself, her normally luminescent form dim and flickering like a dying star. "If you shield me from the cold, I will reward you, human," she said, her voice resonating directly in his mind with a musical quality that made his chest ache. Marcus had heard the stories. The Velshara never made promises lightly. Their rewards could be anything from advanced technology to psychic abilities, from wealth beyond measure to knowledge that could reshape civilizations. But he'd also heard they could be capricious, that their definitions of reward didn't always align with human expectations. None of that mattered in the moment. His suit had maybe 2 hours of power left. Sharing his heat with her would cut that time in half, maybe less. The shelter station was 90 minutes away on a good day. In this storm, it would take twice that long. Marcus Chen had never been good at math when it counted against basic decency. He knelt beside her, unfastening the thermal cape from his suit's back panel. The Velshara woman watched him with eyes like fractured diamonds, beautiful and alien and afraid. He wrapped the cape around her crystalline shoulders and she gasped, a sound like wind chimes in a hurricane. "This will help," he said, adjusting his suit's settings to create a heat bubble around them both. His internal temperature display immediately began dropping. "But we need to move. There's a shelter station northeast of here." "I cannot walk," she admitted, and he could hear the shame in her telepathic voice. "The cold has crystallized my lower joints. We are not meant for this world's winters." "Then what were you doing out here?" "Seeking. Always seeking." A pause. "My kind searches the universe for meaning, for purpose. I thought I had found something on this world. I was wrong. I was foolish." Marcus shifted, positioning himself to lift her. She was surprisingly light, her crystalline body far less dense than it appeared. "Seeking meaning isn't foolish," he said, grunting as he stood. "Doing it alone might be, though." The trek was brutal. Every step was a negotiation with the wind, every breath a reminder that his oxygen reserves were depleting faster than recommended. The Velshara woman had gone silent, conserving her energy, but he could feel her presence in his mind, a gentle warmth that had nothing to do with temperature. Halfway to the shelter, his suit's AI started its warnings. "Core temperature dropping. Recommend immediate shelter. Power reserves at 30%. He ignored them all. 20 minutes from the station, his legs began to fail. The cold was seeping through now, his extremities going numb despite the suit's best efforts. The alien woman stirred in his arms. "Put me down," she said. "You will die if you continue." "We're almost there." "Human, I release you from—" "I don't need releasing," Marcus interrupted through chattering teeth. "I need you to hold on for 10 more minutes." He could feel her confusion, her inability to understand why he would sacrifice himself for a stranger, for an alien, for someone who had nothing to offer him but a nebulous promise. In her long life, she had seen species rise and fall, had witnessed countless acts of cruelty and self-interest. She had never seen this. The shelter station's door was a blessed sight. Marcus's frozen fingers fumbled with the emergency access panel, finally triggering it open. They tumbled inside, and the door sealed behind them with a hiss of pressurizing atmosphere. Heat flooded the small space. Marcus collapsed against the wall, his suit's alarm screaming at him about hypothermia and system failures. The Velshara woman lay where he'd set her down, her form slowly brightening as warmth returned to her crystalline body. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. The time felt slippery. When Marcus could finally focus his eyes again, she was standing over him, fully restored, radiant as a newborn star. Her hand, delicate and geometric, reached toward his face. "You saved me," she said, wonder coloring her telepathic voice. "You endangered yourself, possibly fatally, for no guaranteed gain. For a stranger. For me." "Yeah, well," Marcus managed a weak smile. "Where I come from, we call that being human." Her fingers touched his forehead, and suddenly warmth flooded through him. Not the artificial heat of the shelter, but something deeper, something that touched his very cells. He gasped as his hypothermia reversed, as his damaged tissue regenerated, as strength returned to his limbs. But that wasn't the reward. "I came to your world seeking meaning," she said softly. "I have wandered the cosmos for 3,000 years, searching for purpose, for something worth the gift of existence. And in one human's simple act of kindness, I have found more meaning than in millennia of seeking." She placed something in his hand, a small crystal that pulsed with inner light. "This is a Velshara soulstone. It contains the sum of my knowledge, my memories, my understanding of the universe. It is the greatest treasure my people can give." She paused, and he could swear he saw her smile. "But the true reward, Marcus Chen, is this. You have reminded me why life in all its forms is worth preserving. You have given an ancient being hope, and I will carry the memory of your humanity with me for the rest of my existence." Marcus looked at the crystal, then at her, then laughed, a sound of exhaustion and relief, and something like joy. "You know what," he said, "I think I got the better end of this deal." Outside, the storm raged on, but inside the shelter, a human and an alien sat together in comfortable silence, proof that sometimes the greatest rewards aren't the ones we can hold in our hands, but the ones we carry in our hearts.